Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here, and a bit of a market update for you. I'm going to be covering the indices, S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and also silver and gold, and also the GDX and GDXJ and those sort of things as well too. And plus I'll be talking about some things that's important. If you're finding it very, very confusing in these markets and you're not sure what to do, where to turn to, how to get ahead in these markets and so on and so forth. So I'll be talking more about that as well too. But before I do start, guys, I am running a live webinar. It's basically the date is this Wednesday, the 20th, 4 p.m. New York time, or Australian time. It would be Thursday, the 21st. At 6 a.m. That's basically when the market closes, when the stock market closes on Wednesday, New York time at 4 p.m. That's when I'm running it. I'm running the live webinar this week. I've actually, it's been a while since I've actually done something like this as well too, but I'm going to be walking you through my trading system. I'm going to be walking through all the details to it, but I'm going to be walking you through how I find these trades in 1 hour per day. What is my scanning process? How do I do it? I'm going to walk you through all the steps, step by step by step, in this training here. So when you leave here, you will know exactly what to look for as well too. Okay. Plus, I'm also going to be sharing with you all the recent trades that I've taken within the system, and dozens more. So if you go to johnslivetraining.com, you can register. I actually haven't done something like this in a long time, guys. So this is live. This is me here teaching you and helping you. So and you'll be able to get at the end. I'll also give you a bit of Q&A as well too. So go to johnslivetraining.com to register for that webinar. And I promise you that yes, of course, I'm going to be offering you my coaching program at the end. That's not a surprise. But even if you don't take the coaching, I'll show you exactly what to do and what to look for in a powerful setup, so you can at least move forward. Okay, so let's get straight into the markets today and what's going on right now with the actual markets. And the one thing that I keep looking at when it comes to the actual stock market itself and all the stuff is, if I look at this here, and if I bring up, say, the last 6 months, even if I bring up the last, say, 1 year, say 1 year worth of data, and look at this here, right? Look at this. This is something here, right? This is a bit of a rounding top formation here that we're actually seeing in these markets here, and it's so to me, I would believe that we're probably likely to get ready for more downside to come moving into this week. I don't know why that's saying on the markets, but that could completely change. But the one thing I'm seeing here right now on the S&P is that this week right now should be a pullback week. So you can see here that we actually had a move up, and then we had a move down, and now we're just holding here right now. So even if we did get a little bit more of an upside on Monday, if we did, it's probably going to be turnaround Tuesday, and then we're probably likely to start doing something like that as well too. I don't think we're likely to get to the lows there, but because spit it out, spit it out, John. I don't think we're going to get to the lows, but who knows how far what's going to happen here. But the way that I'm seeing this right now, I have a target of around the 21,000 level. If we do start to roll over there, I have a target around the 21,000 level through there. So be really interesting, but I can definitely see, if you see this sort of rounding formation through here, you only generally get that at sort of tops and bottoms of the markets. This is generally not a sort of a market when the market goes sideways and then we rally back up again. So I'm actually a very bearish view on the Dow Jones and also the S&P 500 as well too. If we have a look at this here, you can see how we're sort of getting a bit of a rounding formation through here. But more importantly, you can see how we're just one top, two top, bit of a double top. We actually had this low, bit of a lower low through here as well too. So we could see all the details right here. That's sort of, we're pausing here right now when it comes to the S&P 500. So we created a bit of a lower low through here and a bit of a higher high. So no one's really in control. But once again, I wouldn't be too surprised if we did start to see this thing drop on the downside just a little, moving into this week through here. So, but obviously anything can happen, guys. So just be, you just want to make sure that you're not trading based on what I just said there, guys. That you're always trading based on a system and not based on what you think or what you hope or what you're fearful of happening, fearful of crash or fearful of missing out and all that sort of stuff. It's so important, guys, that just because I'm bearish here does not mean I'm going to trade that. Makes sense? When do I trade? When it meets my plan, right? I'm the casino. Why? Because I have my edge. Right now, it's getting weakness in the markets right now, but toss a coin, right? But it's probably more like 70% is probably likely to run down this week here and 30% bullish. Even if those are the odds, guys, don't be taking a trade based on that there. And I mean what I say in the disclaimer at the start of these videos, guys. Moving on now through to silver and gold. Let's actually bring up the bit of candlestick chart here for a minute. And what I'm seeing here with gold is we actually had a bit of a lot of sideways movement, and now we're just starting to slowly break out here. So we could be getting ready to go for another nice move in the gold market. If I go to my weekly chart here, then we can see that we have this resistance point through here, and then also a $1,900 level resistance point through there as well too. So to me, I see gold overall, if I bring this up here, I see gold overall probably getting towards the high up here. So I think gold is going to continue to soar, even with pullbacks and so on and so forth. I think gold is very bullish. And that's the same for silver as well too. You can see what's actually happened here with silver. Let me open this up a bit more. All right, so you can see a bit of a long-term move, and if you guys have been following me for quite some time now, you will know that this here is what I believe this low here is the low for many years to come, and we're starting a very nice bull market. And you can see here, nice move up, nice pullback, and now a nice move up. I believe we're probably likely to get to at least the 1850 on a short-term level. And then once it breaks that, it's all over Red Rover from there. You can also see my 52 moving average as well too. It's starting to slowly flatten out and now point back up, which is a very powerful sign when looking at silver there. So very exciting through there. If I look at the GDX through here and we start to look at this here, this is just crazy, right? This is absolutely crazy. I have a target. I've always had a target of 42. Maybe we're just going to run straight to 42. Guys, and this is something I was saying at the start of the video, right, about your success in the markets. One thing that's so important, the more you get involved in the markets, the more that you get less upset. Actually, no, you don't get upset. If you want to get into GDX and you don't get in now because you're waiting for a pullback and it runs to 42 because you think it's going to, well, guess what? You don't get upset about that, right? It's like, oh my goodness, I missed that. Why? Because there's another amazing opportunity just around the corner, right? There's another amazing opportunity tomorrow, another amazing opportunity this week. There's always amazing opportunities this week. The number one thing in this markets, or the number one thing that I must say to you is that the market's going to be here tomorrow. The question is, will you? And the reason why I say that is that because a lot of people, the way that they trade, right, is like they just want to be in everything. No, don't be in everything, right? It's all about probability. Most people lose money in the markets, and I dare to say that probably 90% of the traders that are listening to me right now are probably losing money this year, probably down a lot because they're just, and it's not your fault really, because you're trading based on what you're trading based on what you think is logical in the markets, and there's nothing logical about the markets at all. In fact, you got to really pull your. Well, what I say is that a lot of people place positions in the markets on a herd mentality instead of a leader mentality. What I mean by that is a herd mentality is that I'm going to wait for the market to go up a lot first, then I'm going to jump in, because then the market's proved to me it's going to go up. Then when I get in, it's probably likely to continue up. Where that herd mentality, wait for the market to go up a lot first, that is probably going to set you back a lot. And you're going to have the odds against you when doing that. And the reason why, guys, is once again, the simple fact is that after the markets go through a stair-stepping fashion all the time. They may not stair-step, but they might run up and then go sideways, then might go for another run again. This is how everything happens, right? Look at even property cycles, right? If you ever see property gone through a big boom and then suddenly we spend a couple of years doing this, and then we break out, guess what you should be doing in that property market, right? Buying it, right? Right? It's like you'll notice these patterns form again and again and again in the markets, right? And the highest probability time is getting in on a dip through here. On a dip through here, even on the sideways phase, when it comes to that there, or even and actually no, more importantly, waiting for the rise, right? So as the market starts to rise, you want to try to get in here. As the market starts to rise, you want to get in here. As the market starts to rise, you want to get in here. Now, why is that? Because now you're giving yourself the best chance of jumping in after the market has started to move, not after the market moves a lot. If the market goes up and has a pullback and you get in here, you're like, oh, I'm not too quite sure. The market goes up, you're like, oh, I'm not too quite sure. And then the market does that, you're like, oh, I'm definitely getting in now because the market's going up. It's going to go to the moon. Oh my goodness, and then it does that. You're like, oh, you just ta, right? So when looking at the markets and when trading these markets, guys, always think of probabilities. Are you going to be here tomorrow? And the way that these markets work, right, is it's understanding these markets as a whole. Because once you understand these markets, you can understand anything. You can understand the futures market, the forex market, the stock market, any market out there, and you can apply that because it's human nature, right? And you can apply that to, as I was about to start saying, you can apply that to anything. You can apply it even to property. Right? So like right now for me, when I'm looking at the property market, I'm actually looking to get into some property. So, and I just paused there for a bit because I didn't know how I was going to explain that. But and what I mean by that is that like I'm searching for some really, really, really good property deals that are undervalued, that I can renovate to increase the value, that I can have positive cash flow as well too. And then I can have some good equity, some good positive cash flow, and to continue moving forward from there, right? So that's something that I'm now really, really, really focusing on. Have been now for a few months, been really educating myself and really focusing on those areas of, like for example, no money down deals. How do you actually really do a no money down deal in the property market, and what are the steps to actually doing that? Wouldn't it be awesome to be able to do a no money down deal to get into it? Maybe a little bit of fees and charges you have to pay for, but no money down to get actually into the property, and then as soon as you get the property, it's positive cash flow. Wouldn't that be awesome? Stuff like that. But the purpose of me saying this, right, is that I've noticed that even by doing my analysis on property trends, over the last 100, 200 years, and even when looking at the overall cycles and so on and so forth, and different trends and so on and so forth, I'm noticing when I'm studying in different suburbs and different states and so on and so forth, I'm noticing that even the way that these markets operate, right, which is the highs and lows, peaks and troughs, upward trends, downward trends, and so on and so forth, you can really, really, really get a good gauge on what's going on with that market or even that stock, right? Because everything is human behavior. Right, everything is human behavior, and you can really get a good gauge on and it's so powerful, guys, because once you start to understand how to really understand these markets, which is just simply what it means by there's techniques, what I call peaks and troughs, which is highs and lows. There's a price and time technique, which on the webinar I'll teach you the price and time technique because it's actually built into my trading system, and then there's things like, strengthened moves, false breakouts. Once you start to really get a good grasp on all these different chart reading techniques, I'm understanding that, you can apply it to any area of your life, and you can start to see, no matter what market you're looking at, right? So if you are a property investor, understanding how to read these charts can be so valuable to you when looking at even a property graph, saying, okay, this suburb is now likely to start to make some big moves. Why? Because look at the overall trends over the last 10 years. This is what's happening, and so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense, guys. The success in the markets, guys, is never about being luck. Once again, guys, if this does run up to here, then you didn't miss out. If you didn't get in, then you didn't miss out on anything. Okay. Because if you did get into here in the market around the 42, and that was your strategy from now on, to wait for the market to go up a lot and then get in, I guarantee you 7 times out of 10 the market's going to do that. And not only that, but you're going to hold on, hope and pray for most of those times. And now your losses are 3, 4, 5 times more than your actual profit. And before you know it, you thought, oh, this market's rigged, it's against me, blah, 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 blah. No, you're just a shit trader. Let's just be real here, right? By being a good trader simply means, you know what? Even if this thing runs on without me and I want to be in this, but I can't because it's not a good time to get into it, I know there's another good trade just around the corner that I can hop into, have a real high probability chance, and therefore I can actually not only protect my money, but actually make money with that. So there we go, guys. For me, overall, silver and gold looking really, 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 really bullish. And also the stock market rounding top, is the stock market getting ready to have that drop?